you, my pretty, and your little dog, too. That's how I felt that night. I watched a hot cup of coffee levitate from the kitchen through the dining room into the living room and pour all over my mother while she was holding down a family member, sprinkling holy water and saying the name of Jesus over them. So this is bizarre. I recognize that. Let me just kind of set the stage for everybody. My parents had been recently divorced. There was a lot of occultic activity that went on in my family. I was a young teenager. Um, After the divorce, my mother moved into this trailer with a woman who turns out she was a black witch. She got my mother into white witchcraft. And when we finally separated from her, we ended up moving into a house that, unknown to us, used to be used for occult practices. So I went through this experience and my siblings with me. This affected directly one of my family members. The rest of us, we could not stand to be in that house. We did not know why. It was the first time, the only time in our history where we came home, we did our homework, we did our chores, and we got the heck out of that house and stayed gone until it was time to go to bed so that we could go to school the next day. We could not stand being in that house. We really didn't understand why. Turns out there was cult black candles and satanic pictures and all kinds of different things in the house that another member of my family got into. And my mother was doing her best with the very limited knowledge that she had to perform an exorcism. And I actually watched a hot cup of coffee levitate from the kitchen through the dining room into the living room and pour all over her. So I saw some things that totally convinced me of evil and of the evil spiritual world. And that actually is what was the catalyst to bringing me to salvation. Because the thought occurred to me that if evil existed, then so did God. Because if it was only the devil and evil, then this place would be a hell. And if it was only God and angels, then this place would be a paradise. And from my experience, there was some of both. Some really horrible crap and some really good stuff. And so I went on a journey. I was totally convinced of evil. I was determined I was going to find God. And I went on a journey to find him. I started with Confucianism and Taoism and Hinduism and all of the other Middle Eastern type religions because I did not want to assume that I'd been born in the right country. There was a God and I was going to find him. So when I came through and I finally came to Christianity, I saved that for last. I started in Genesis and read all the way through to Revelation. But in the journey, I saw the prophetic words of God sending a Messiah and that he was going to bring us back into a peaceful relationship with him. And I thought that was just a magnificent concept. And then when I came to the life of Christ and realized that the way that God was going to do this was because he was going to pay the price for me, I went, that's God. That's the one I'm looking for. And I say all of that to say this. There are times the enemy comes into your life, and if you will ask God, God will show you how to turn that cursing into a blessing. Because what the enemy meant for evil in my family, God turned for good. Each and every one of my immediate family have come into a saving knowledge of Jesus Christ. I recognize that that story for a lot of people is just, out there with The Exorcist and all of that. And believe me, I get that. But that is actually what started me on my path, because I became convinced because of all the occult, satanic stuff that was going on. And that brought me. So, my challenge to people, if there is a place that the enemy is attacking you, ask God how he can turn what the enemy's meaning for evil and turn it for your good. Because in every situation, God says, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all. Have a great day.